Welcome to Pause and Proceed podcast. I'm your girl, Bridgett LaRé.
And I'm your other host, SB.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
What's going on with you?
Life. This good old life.
2023, baby.
2023. Walking into the new year. Or we've walked into the new year.
Walk it out.
You know a fun fact?
What's that?
A fun astrology fact?
Oh, good.
For the astrology new year actually starts with Aries season. So that's around March. That's a fun fact.
So this really, January is not even a new year then?
Well, you know, it's about perception. But for us, we are embracing, you know, this, I don't know if you want to call it this westernized new year. And we're taking advantage of it, right?
Why not?
Why not?
Hey, you know what? It's a lot of things that go on that where I'm like, why do we even do this? Like daylight savings time.
I thought they were getting rid of daylight savings time. Wasn't that a rumor?
Well, it was on the ballot, like when you vote.
Yeah, okay.
I always vote like stop. But apparently some people like it.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And I spread a rumor. I was like, we're not going to have daylight savings time anymore. And I spread a rumor, and then my friend spread the rumor even further, and then it came, and she looked at me like, hey.
Like you lied.
Yeah.
But
I was like, you got to do your research. You can't listen to people.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. Shout out to Coco.
Look it up. It's on Google.
Right.
So, but I don't think Arizona, look it up, I could be wrong. I don't think Arizona, like,
I think you're right.
obeys
The central,
that. Yeah,
I
I don't
think
think
the
they do
central
all
time
that.
zones don't obey that.
yeah. I think they like, no, we're not messing with the time. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said it's what, void and null now. Like, it doesn't, because it was more so for the farmers, I think.
Oh, girl, we going to a subject I know nothing
Yeah,
about.
we don't need to be talking about that.
Yeah.
We don't need to be talking about that. Anyway,
That's like politics.
It is like
I
politics.
don't know.
We don't know.
Mm-mm.
So how are you doing?
Well, you know, I'm doing good. It's so funny. Let me tell you how God works. Like every time I say I'm gonna do something or not going to do something,
Mhm.
like you make plans. Like if they say you want to make God laugh, make some plans.
True.
So my plans. Remember, I was like, well, no, I'm not going home for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't have any traditions, and like it meet like 5 days later, and probably even less than 5 days. Like I talked to my mom. And she had sprained her ankle, so she got like a boot on, and she need her rotator cuff repaired. So she just got so many things going on to where I was like, I think I'm gonna go home and help my mom. So here I am home for the holidays, which I said I wasn't gonna do.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's always nice to be a help for mommy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I was like, I told her, I said, Mom, I'm gonna come home. And help you out. She's like, well, didn't I tell you I didn't want no help? She's like, well, I need my space. I said, you know what?
She said she need her space.
She said she need her space. I said, look, I'm trying to be a good daughter here.
Right.
I'm trying to be a good daughter. She's like, well, I just want you to do you and, and do all your great things and make things happen for you.
You sound like my mama.
I'm like, all right. But I'm coming.
You coming anyway.
Yeah.
That's how you supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I know she appreciated, so that's all good.
Yeah, she did. She did. Good. She be trying to act hard. But I was like, you don't have to be so strong all the time, black woman.
She a lioness too.
She is a lioness.
She is.
She lioness.
Hey, mama.
Hey,
Shout out to mama.
Shout out to my mama,
Yeah.
Miss Donella. Pew, 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 pew.
I wasn't going to do that.
Why? My mama gonna be like, why Solomon didn't give me my pew, pew, pew?
I don't know. It just seemed inappropriate for mama, though.
Why?
You want to give it to mama? Okay.
What should we give?
There
we go.
Shout out to my mama, Miss Dayton, Ohio.
Cool.
So what's up with you, boo?
What is up with me? Life is good, and that's all life is good. I don't know what's up with me. I'm just, I'm here, and I'm making leeway. I'm making leeway into my goals and whatnot. I'm doing the interviews.
Okay.
About doing the interviews.
Okay, good.
About my documentary.
Yes.
And my book.
Good
so
job.
I'm making leeway with that. We're keeping our consistency with our podcast. Like, things are moving. things are moving and shaking. So I'm doing pretty good. That's what's
So are
up
you
with
still
me.
excited? So tell us more about this documentary and the book that you're working on.
Okay, so the documentary and the book that's going to accompany the documentary, I'm probably going to release the book first, but who knows? It's not coming out anytime soon because I really want to take my time. It's about death, and we talked about this on maybe episode, I want to say 5.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
we
5.
briefly
We
discussed
touched
this.
on it a
Yeah,
little
we
bit.
touched on it. About having the tools to properly deal with death because it's such a it's a normal part of life. It's so normal. I feel like we should have a larger grip on it. Like people's death takes people's lives away, and I experienced that and I know firsthand how that goes. And luckily for me, I've actually coming out of that, or I've came out of that. Like I'm making peace with that. Or I feel like I made peace with that. Thank freaking God. But it's so many people that haven't. And this has been a 10-year course, for me.
For what is the personal experience for you? Like, why is this important to you?
It's important to me because I went through it. And
You went through what?
I went through my parents. My parents died.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom passed away. No, my dad passed away first. My dad passed away in 2010 from liver cancer. And then a year and a half later, my mom passed away with colon cancer. So that was like, wop, wop, back to back.
Yeah.
And I didn't deal with it like I discussed on the last podcast. I was very political about my grieving process. So I didn't deal with it like I was supposed to when I came out here. And I was a sad, lonely girl after some time.
Hashtag sad, lonely girl.
Being those things unearthed and they start to kind of come back up because I didn't heal. I kind of just suppressed it and moved on. So with the book, I was journaling throughout my whole journey. I was just journaling and just writing my feelings. Oh, that stuff was so depressed. I have to go back and read it, and I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous about going back and reading those journal entries, but that's going to be part of the book.
Yeah.
Because that was real time. It was happening in real time. So ultimately, I don't want to get too long-winded. I want to interview people from different backgrounds, different cultures about.
You are.
I am.
Yes.
I have. But this is an ongoing thing. Interviewing people from different walks of life and seeing how death has affected them. Where are they now when it comes to how they're dealing with it, and just the tools, if they have any, what are they using to make peace with the situation? I just think it's so important because people struggle with it. They struggle with it so much, and it's understandable because your loved one is no longer here.
Yeah.
And it just seems so real. It seems, it's weird, but it's so normal. It's like it has to be a better hack to this.
Yeah.
And I know it is because other people have different, you watch television and not just watch television, but you talk to different people and they have different ways of looking at death, more peaceful, more sound ways of going through their grieving process so it won't take a chokehold on their life.
Right.
So
you feel like with your word of the year 2023 being provision.
Come on, provision. Yes.
So like, the death of your parents and you going through what you went through for 10 years, do you feel like that was provision for what God has set you up to do now with
sure do.
With the book and your documentary?
I sure do. Through the pain is where you find your strength, and sadly, sometimes all of us, we don't get out of that, but I know that is propelling me to do something bigger than myself. It really is. Yeah. So yes, to answer your question, absolutely. And I'm excited about it.
Good.
Gosh darn it.
Good.
I'm doing something.
I think it's a great conversation. I lost my brother. My brother Reggie, like super early. Just October. He actually passed on Halloween 2021.
Yes.
And
sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
And like that was the closest person to me that has ever passed. So it took like a while. But for me, I was, just trying to be strong for my mom. You know, she lost her first child, her only son.
Oof.
And it really
Oh, my
didn't.
goodness.
So when I went home to Ohio and you know, handling business for him, my focus was just so on my mom. And even after that, so I really didn't like even take the time to grieve, or, you know, I was just like, I'm just gonna focus on her. So that was kind of like my coping mechanism, like taking the focus and energy off of me. Let me make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
So I can just remember being home one day, and I probably was listening to some gospel music, and I just broke down, just crying so hard. And I was like, oh, God, I didn't even know that was in me.
Needed it.
And that was probably like, you know, a year, almost a year later. And I'm like, God, I didn't even know.
That was recently?
Yeah. Just maybe October, because he passed October.
That lioness.
You know, lioness. I was like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it happens. Death is a part of life. And da-da-da-da. You know, rationalizing it. And, you know, just when I broke down like that, I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Like,
how did you feel?
It was like, you know, just a breath of fresh air, like a
got
elephant
out
was
of
off
you.
my shoulder.
Yeah, off your back, the monkey.
Yeah. And it made me feel like,
elephant's
you know,
better.
you think about your own fate. You know what I mean? Like, dang, like you got to go after everything that you want in life. I was like, oh, you had a cough coming again. Bless you.
There we go.
It was a sneeze.
Yeah.
Okay. Solomon had to show you.
Why would you do that, Solomon? Come on. Man.
She brought attention to it.
I did.
Why did
Yeah.
you say anything?
It was my fault.
Man, we're gonna make a reel of me coughing.
Yes, sneezing.
That seemed like I'm just ill or something.
Y'all bodily functions going on. But see,
Okay,
my immune system is strong, so if you ill, it's cool.
Oh, cut it out.
My immune system
is great too.
I ain't never had COVID.
Me either.
I don't think I did. It's not like I just go testing all the time. But you know you
as
can
far
have it
as
with
you
no
know,
symptoms. Yeah.
right? You won't lay it out. I've never been laid out. Thank God. Either one of us has never been laid out like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what? When in 2020, when it came about, and you know, of course, everybody was, you know, walking in fear. I was like, you know, in this moment, I'm going to decide right now that I'm not going to get it. It's not going to take me out.
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
I said the same exact thing.
Yeah, I was like,
Bridgett.
I'm not going to live in fear. So
that part.
You know, I was traveling. You know, I'm going to Jamaica. I'm just doing. I'm like, I'm not going to live in fear.
You're not going to live in fear.
I spent too many years living in fear. Like, and then, you know, the whole thing. You know, my word of the year, you know, is, you know, purpose. So I'm like, I'm gonna be purposeful. Like I'm purposely gonna on purpose live. Decide to live. I didn't think, you know, I was thinking that way then, but that wasn't my word of that year. Right. I was just like, I'm just gonna live on purpose. So anyway,
now get back to, are you done with when it comes to you talking about your brother?
Oh yeah, I was talking about my brother. I was talking about my brother.
It's okay.
So, you know, and one of the things I'll tell you all, like, what he was 41 when he passed. And
young, man.
He was so young. Yeah. And he was obese. He had like congestive heart failure, diabetes. He had like a lot going on as far as health wise. So I did say, like, once he passed, I got a Peloton. I'm like, I'm about to get my life together. Like, his death won't be in vain. You know, I'm going to transform my life, transform my body, and you know, speak about this publicly. About how, you know, food is literally killing us. Like, having a sedentary lifestyle is literally killing us. Did I say that word right? Sedentary lifestyle? I think that's
sedentary.
Like
yeah, you
like
did.
Not exercising,
right?
And, like, stuff like that. But when I said that, when I bought the Peloton, I was, you know, excited about it, and I was on it every day. I did lose some weight, was looking good, toned and fit, whatever, blah blah blah. But I have a thing. Confession time.
Like, I
have a thing about, like, when I have a lot of interest. I have a lot of things that I will get into, and I'll be so excited when I started, and then once the excitement died down, and it's time to put that work in.
That work.
Work. Hey. When it's time to put that work in, like, and the excitement has passed, I will, you know, dwindle.
The drive
I've been
is
known
not
to
there.
dwindle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why purpose is very important to me. Like I got to anchor into the purpose and be committed. Like, oh, do I still have? So again, with the mug, my niece and nephews got me. Be committed, not just interested.
Not just interested.
So it's like, I'm not saying I'm going to do anything. I'm not coming with all these big grandiose resolutions and things of that matter if I don't plan on being committed to it. That's what the Bridge method, the 21-day meditation challenge.
Join if you haven't already.
Yeah, well, it's too late because
Oh, sorry guys.
We just had to start on the 1st of January. Like,
sorry.
Yeah.
Catch us next year.
Sorry.
But you know what? I can relate. To that.
In what way?
You know how many things I've done? Okay. Came out here. I'm making t-shirts. Well, not even making t-shirts. Like, I learned how to draw a little bit, kind of. So I came out to LA from Virginia, making t-shirts. I'm trying to figure out my fashion thing. Then I started selling earrings. I'm doing my podcast, but I never really followed through and kept it going. You know, it was just something.
The one gal, one mic.
That, yes, one gal and one mic. One gal and one mic.
That we can't find that anywhere.
We can't find it anywhere, but I'm still going to do something with that. So don't nobody take my freaking name, okay? But yeah, so I know for me, and probably for you too, there was some healing that needed to be done. Yeah. There was an energy block there for me not to follow through, and I didn't know. I had to go to therapy for that. That was a big thing for me. Because I am used to being a go-getter. I set my mind, say, hey, I'm going to do it. This is what I want to do. And I take off. So when I start not taking off and I start forcing things, like, okay, I need to do something. So I'm just going to force it. And you feel like you hitting a wall or you feel like a block. I had to stop. I'm like, this doesn't feel natural. But then I'll pick up and try to do something else. And then I still would feel that block. I'm like, okay, God, let me just surrender. And let me just try to figure out what are you trying to tell me?
Surrender.
I had to surrender.
Love that word.
And I was embarrassed about it because that's why they say, don't tell anybody. At this point, I was hesitant to even bring up the book and the documentary.
You didn't want to be held accountable?
That part.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm ready to be held accountable. Yeah. But I still was hesitant because I'm so used to not I was used to not following through.
Yeah.
So I guess
get that.
It's a new day.
Yeah, I don't think taking off, because you was like, yeah, I would take off and then feel that resistance. Taking off isn't the issue, huh? It's completion.
It's the completion.
Seeing it through to fruition.
Yeah, you start telling her, oh yeah, I'm doing this. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. And then you don't see it. You look like a liar.
You
look
actually
like
do it.
Yeah.
Scoot this over a little bit.
Oh,
I feel like I'm turning my neck like.
We got to get you together every week, y'all. It's every week.
She's out there with me.
Every week, yes. We'll make a reel of this.
Me and this mic and the chairs.
Yes.
Solomon done with me. Done.
That's actually good. Is it?
Good. It's better, right?
Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
You do look a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, because I felt like I was like this.
Now don't move. Don't move at all.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna move. I speak with passion.
Oh, Lord.
You just so cool, calm, and collected, and like you stay.
I don't know what
you
it
a good host.
Thank you. I mean, you're a good host too. I don't know. You just over there figuring it out. You just be moving.
Yeah.
You be trying to get your groove and your comfortability together.
I speak with my whole body.
That's what it is.
Yeah. You speak with your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe my head, my neck a little bit. Yeah.
But let's get into this outfit.
Oh, well, thanks.
I'm loving it.
You know, my little Sade pen and we intentionally did this today with our red. Yeah. So, I just decided, you know what? I'll too wear a little red. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we like to coordinate.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You got to coordinate.
You got to coordinate. Coordinate.
Who was that? Witherspoon?
Yeah. Well, I think he first said it on Boomerang.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was first Boomerang, and then he just continued it.
Oh, what's his first name?
John
Witherspoon. Yes,
Witherspoon.
yes.
I thought you had. Oh, you said
R.I.P.
Witherspoon.
Yeah, I just said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you said the whole name.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's time to be committed and not just interested in a lot of things.
Yes. Oh my, I'm so ready.
Yeah.
Oh my, this was a long time coming. How do you feel? Like, do you feel like I'm ready?
That's the thing. I always feel like I'm ready.
See, I can't say I always feel like I'm ready, but I put the work in at the beginning and then it just dies off because I feel like it's being forced. I don't feel like it's being forced now. Even with like the podcast, how it's just flowing, how we're just simpatico and we're showing up. Like we're on episode 7.
Yep, 7. Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7, guys.
Yeah.
Like it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Can we get a cheers? We're on episode 7 of Pause and Proceed podcast.
Hey.
Thank you. Two people who have a history of, stopping.
Yes. Pausing.
Pausing. Excuse me. Excuse me. Why? And, but we're proceeding.
Absolutely.
And we will continue to proceed.
Yeah. And what? To give you what you need. And what we need as well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So it was a couple of things. Listen, is there something that you have like paused on?
Yes.
That you are feeling like, yeah, I was just interested in that. But when it was time to put the work in, I paused. Is it something that you did that with and want to proceed on it now?
Let me think about that. Well, we're doing the podcast. Podcast number 1.
That was one. Yeah.
That was definitely one of the things I knew I wanted to get back to.
Yeah.
For sure. That and I am somewhat pausing my fashion.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to. I don't have time to go to school right now. I definitely want to focus on the podcast, and I feel like I'm pausing on the fashion, but I feel like I'm reinventing that aspect of what I want to do. I'm gonna have more so control on what I want to do, and I feel like I'm trying to figure out what is it in that sector that I'm going to be doing. So, and I'm just gonna let it come because I don't want it to feel forced because it's been feeling forced lately. Me trying to figure it out. Okay, go to school, and school just isn't connecting. So I'm pausing on that, and then we'll figure out what comes from it. So
well, I've learned like you don't have to you can go to YouTube University. You know what I mean?
I know.
You don't have to be like in the classroom setting.
And
like, whatever you want to
that.
do, just do it.
And that's the thing. I told myself, I said, I'm gonna figure this thing out because even when I came here, I didn't go to school.
Right.
I met people and I was learning as I went.
Yeah.
I didn't go to school for styling. I learned just on, shout out to Diva Legs. I be shouting out everybody.
You love to shout out. I like it.
Seriously, because I met her. Her name is Tamia. And I met her and she took me under her wing. And I started doing shows with her. And she really kind of like, she helped me out in that sector. So I appreciate her for that.
Okay.
Fashion
shows, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
fashion shows. And, just, I'm getting my feet wet a little bit.
Okay.
And then I just started doing other things. But
once you start putting the work in, I
started putting the work in. But it was my healing that, I had to retract back from all of that because things just weren't emotionally wasn't there. So
you wasn't committed because even if it wasn't there emotionally, if you committed to it,
I was committed I feel like I thought I was committed. I was putting one foot in front of the other, but it came a time where things just felt like it wasn't adding up.
Yeah.
I
get that.
I get that.
So one of the things that I would say I started, and this was without going to school or anything, or I started a show, the Bridgett LaRé Show, where we showcase.
It
was the Bridgett LaRé Show where we showcase and highlight the accomplishments of independent artists. And I just had a camera, and I was like, I'm about to just go around and interview people, interview different artists, and film them doing their thing, whatever it is that they do. And somehow it ended up being me filming like rappers. I don't know how it came to that, but I was thinking like artists, like painters, like whatever it is that they do in any different genre of art. But I started like it just the show just got big in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like I had a friend, an amazing friend, Mac. He gave me a studio in Hollywood, so I was just doing my show in his studio. And then after maybe the third show, this funny, y'all. This some hood stuff. So after about the third show, the police came in and kicked the door down. They raided the whole place. So I was like, oh, okay, that's a whole nother story. So I was like, oh, okay, well, shoot.
What was Mackie getting into?
It wasn't like a studio building. It wasn't him. It was somebody in the building. So they just kicked every door down.
Wow.
So I'm like, man, they messed up my studio. What am I going to do now? And so I took the show on the road.
Okay.
So, I just had my cameraman. I had people with the Bridgett LaRé shirts on. They were my security. And I just started going around and filming people doing the Bridgett LaRé show.
Okay.
And it was getting big to the point to where I did a show with Nipsey Hussle. Shout out to R.I.P. to Nip.
Do you still have that footage?
I still have the footage. It's on YouTube right now.
Okay.
And because it was a show with these all black producers. They put on like a showcase in San Bernardino.
Okay.
And like they was like, how much would you charge us to come out? And I was like, what? You want to pay me for this?
Yeah.
Because I it's just something that I started doing.
Right.
And then I started working with. I got an opportunity to work with Master P. He was doing some stuff.
Yeah.
And like my mentality, like at that time, like when things started to get good for me, I was sabotage, to the point to where I kind of like took over the set.
Yeah.
And it was the Bridgett LaRé show, but that's not what P wanted.
Oh.
But I didn't know that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that put me, because the guy who hired me to do it, he was like, yeah, he wants you to like travel and you'll be, doing what you do. All he wanted me to do was go through the crowd and talk to the crowd about what he got going on.
Master P.
Yeah. But I had the Bridgett LaRé banner. I got my chair.
Because that was your show. That's what you were doing. So he wanted to hire you?
Yeah, because the guy that hired me, he was like, Bridgett LaRé, I got a gig for you with P. We want you to come out and do what you do. So what I did was the Bridgett LaRé show.
You did what you do.
Yeah. But I took responsibility for it because I'm like, I didn't ask questions and I wasn't being a professional about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to take responsibility. But it did make me pause because that kind of made me feel like, well,
sound like it was miscommunication.
It was a lot of miscommunication.
Yeah, it sounded like it was miscommunication.
But if I was to say there's something that I would like to proceed with, it will be doing the Bridgett LaRé show and just interviewing different artists because I love independent artists and I love to give them a platform to show their talent. Hey, they got a Bridgett LaRé show! Come on,
look at you!
Hey, I love that.
Come on,
I love it.
Shout out to the Bridgett LaRé show.
Solomon be doing his homework. Dang it!
Stay tuned.
Yep, that's the show where Nipsey was on. Like I had filmed him doing his thing, and unfortunately, I did not get to interview Nipsey. It was like a lot of stuff going on.
Okay,
like, I ain't even gonna get into that.
Okay,
but
sounds ghetto. Sounds a little ghetto.
Look, now we know y'all.
Listen,
Nip.
We already know. We embrace it. You were there. You were there, though.
But it was a really good time. I really enjoyed doing the show and getting to know the people. So many people was like, this is the best interview I ever had.
BL.
Yeah, BL. The
blah, blah, blah.
Hey. Shout out to the Bridgett LaRé show and everybody that was on it. What's up, James and San Bernardino?
It.
Oh, he has a show. He has a store called The Plug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, y'all can follow him on Instagram if he still got that going on.
And so it's coming back.
It's coming back.
So stay tuned.
So whatever you all have paused on, and stop, maybe let it not stop, but pause. Whatever you paused on, because the work you was putting in the work, maybe it was getting too good for you. You start to sabotage. Because for me, I just didn't believe that I deserved it.
Right.
Like, who am I? I had a little imposter syndrome going on there. Like, I'm just a black girl from the ghetto. Like, what am I even talking about? Why are they listening to me?
We have to go deeper into self-sabotage and imposter syndrome.
Right, because not now.
Not now.
But we're going to
We
tell
gotta go
you,
soon.
whatever you paused on, go ahead and proceed. It's 2023.
It's 2023, baby.
Commit. And be purposeful.
And just do small little small little steps will accumulate to a whole snowman. So,
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Just keep trucking forward. You got it.
Amen. And know that everything that has happened is provision to what God is going to do for you now. In the
2023 provision, baby.
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe. And we will see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Pause and proceed, baby.